Hey. Hold on. All right. How you guys doing tonight? Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Don't forget, order the best candles you're ever going to get at energycandles.com. Mods will be dropping the link, ENERGIE.com. I'm not even gonna say specials coming because I keep saying it and not posting it. I've just been so super busy between vacation and now mom's here, so yeah, it's been rough. So what's up, Sly Angel? Criminal Med in the house. Hey, Placidius. Hey, Amber. So as I told Patreons yesterday, what I'm gonna do is, hey, Allie, I'm going to be uploading shorts from this video on my new channel. So if you get notification about the other channel, it's just going to be clips of this video. So I'm going to see how it works. I'm going to try it after this live is over. And so today there was a new call dropped. Oh my God. His father owned his ass. And the funny thing is, his father was basically saying everything that we've been saying. And I also got some body cam footage of his arrest, right before his arrest, when the cops met him in the parking lot. Plus, we got some police records. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do the police records tonight because I really haven't had a chance to look through them. But I can tell you this. I know we were talking about his facial tattoo as well as messaging. A lot of people want to know what his face said on the side of his eye. It's "Why so serious?" That's what it says. I think the guy was a horrible writer, whoever did that tattoo, because serious looks like it's spelled wrong. If you look at it really close, it's kind of hard to tell. Hey, Marie. So it's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, it's "Why so serious?" That's what goes around his eye. I'm going to start tonight with the body cam footage. It's only about 3 minutes and it's pretty interesting. But this is after the murders and before he got arrested, when he's driving around in Kristine's car. Now, I'll also be honest, I am actually surprised that more people are not into this case. I don't know. For some reason, this case has me enthralled. I'm like, as soon as she drops another video, I'm like right there. I was gonna join a membership, but then she ended her live. So I don't know. I don't even care if 20 people are in here. I am so wrapped up in this case. Like anything that comes out, I want to hear it. No, but he has 3,900 messages. Now, mind you, the jail is making a fucking fortune. Fortune. In order, it's like $5 a shot that you have to pay. 3,900 messages as of, I think it was July 2024. It's crazy. Crazy. Oh, did you, Jeanette? I watched some of it. I don't like jury. I mean, I don't like trials. They just bore me. But this case just has me like in awe. Absolute in awe. And I don't know, I can't get enough of it. And I haven't been like this in a long time. But I don't know, I'm just so into this case. 20K what? Oh, 3,900 messages? Yeah, that's $20,000. How insane is that? All right. So let's check out the body cam footage first, then we'll get into the call. Now, I can tell you it's very hard to hear him, but you do hear the cops. Why he's shirtless, I don't know.
Copy, I'm 1012. I'll explain to you when my partner gets here, okay? Yeah. About this morning. Say again? Yeah, I can do that, but I'm just waiting for my partner to get here. Yeah, absolutely. And here's what's going to happen. Is the car running? Shut the car off for me. It's off. I'm going to detain you until I figure out what exactly is going on. Wait, you don't want any trouble from me because you're on probation, okay? Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm going to have you step out of the car and I'm going to detain you. Not arrest. Detain you right now. Okay? And I can't have any problems. You understand me? All right. What's that? Bike 5. I'm at Joe's.
All right. So this was at Joe's Crab Shack. Hey, True Texan. Yes, this is the first dead woman's car, Christine's car. You have to understand where this cop's frame of mind is. He knows that he's a murderer, but he's there by himself. How he got called there alone, I don't know, but I think the cop is pretty smart about it. He doesn't know if he's got weapons on him. He doesn't know his next move. He doesn't know what the deal is. So he's playing it safe. Just wait till my partner gets here. Needless to say, he gets away, but obviously he gets caught again. But I think the cop is handling this pretty smart.
Crab Shack in the parking lot. I will. I give you my word. No. I have to detain you. By our procedures, I have to detain you. Because of the battery this morning. There wasn't any battery? Okay. I will.
Now, people think he lost his teeth while he was in jail. It looks like he's missing a few teeth now, like before he went to jail. It's hard. It's kind of hard to tell with the shadows, but he looks like he's missing a few teeth.
No. Just relax. Let me see the keys to the car. Let me see the keys to the car. Keys. Keys. Wait, we're not going to have any problems. Just give me the keys to the car. Wade. Sir, I didn't do anything. Look at me.
Yeah, dude. His teeth are totally fucking jacked here. He's missing a whole shitload of teeth.
Okay. All right, please. Just wait till my partner gets here. L41, gonna need a couple more units. Don't go anywhere. Hey. Alpha 88 being around with an area. Don't do it. He's in his car. He's attempting to take off.
How long have you guys?
So that was a body cam footage that was just released. Yeah, but I'm saying that his teeth are destroyed. When you look at all these pictures and everyone's like, "Oh, he's so good looking." Really? He's missing fucking a bunch of teeth. That's gross. But you guys know I'm very into teeth. All right, so let's get into the call. I know, sweet one. I wish there was more of it. Bear with me. All right. Now, these 2 calls are brand new. They were released a couple of hours ago, like 6, 7 hours ago.
What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Hey, it's only 51 cents on here,
Yeah.
so we're only gonna talk for a second. So why don't you have to call me back so I can put more money on it? I don't know how to do it unless you call me.
All right. So you want me
Or
to
is there a
call
way
you
to
back?
do it? Yeah, 'cause I need to talk to you.
Oh, you do?
I do. I do badly.
Okay.
Yeah, very badly.
All right. I'll call you back.
So, okay, how long does 51 cents last?
You said what? You said what?
How long does 51 cents last?
I'm really not sure, Dad. I don't really know.
It can't be much.
No, probably like
Just accepting the call, I think.
You have
Yep.
1 minute remaining.
There you go.
Okay, listen. Call me.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
All right. I'll call you back.
All right.
Up on us. Yeah.
Yeah. Even if it doesn't accept it, sometimes that shit acts weird. So
So I gotta call.
just make sure you call me right back.
All right.
Huh?
Yeah. If it doesn't work, I'll
Call me
you back.
call me until we talk.
All right.
So, you doing all right?
Yeah. Let it run out of time real quick.
Yeah. Are you doing okay?
No, I'm not doing okay. I'm not actually.
Why? What's wrong?
Well, I'll tell you about it when I call you back because there's only like 20 seconds. I can't tell you
Yeah.
I'm not doing good in that amount of time. But I'll let you know.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, call me right back because it's gonna.
He needs money, Dad. What do you think is wrong?
Hang up any second. So.
All right, Dad. I'll call you back.
Thank you for using GTL.
What's up, Dad?
What's up, man?
What's up?
What's wrong with you?
Huh?
I said, what's wrong with you?
Oh, nothing, man. I'm in jail. That's all.
I know. I said, is everything okay? And you said no.
Yeah, I'm in jail, bro. That's why everything's not okay.
Oh, well, you already know that. So I want to tell you about a few things on how I feel about a few things, okay?
Okay.
All right. First of all, that GoFundMe account, that
Yeah.
shit was a pretty stupid move, okay? And I understand, you're trying to get money and all that. I get that part of it. But because of that is what sparked all the other bullshit that now is all over the goddamn news. So, listen, I don't know why you felt the need to sit down and have conversations with these media people and go into detail like you did, because I'm telling you how it was received. It was received from everybody who has heard it, and people are posting all over shit, and they're commenting in the news. You sounded horrible. You sounded like a straight liar. You were stumbling over your words. You were repeating things, trying to, come up with what you were saying. And it really came off bad, Wade. Really, really, really bad. You got to look at it from another perspective sometimes. And, now they're blasting these phone interviews all over the place where you talk about, having sex with Kristen. You didn't even say her name right. You kept saying Kristen, and her name's Christine. So Kristen's the chick you're talking to now. So that really looked bad. What else looked bad is it's like the media doesn't give a fuck about you, Wade. They're not the judge and they're not the jury. So you trying to convince them thinking, oh, they're going to put my story out there and people are going to feel bad for me or.
Now, I just want to put this in perspective. This is his biological father, who wasn't in his life for like 18 years. He was very young, but he also, has a new family, but he is there for Wade. He has given him money. He has been there for him. He has given him the right advice. Like, he's really stepped up as someone in his life. If your biological son committed a double homicide, you turned him in, would it be that easy to walk away from him? Maybe. I don't know what I would do. But, he didn't raise him. He could have easily walked away from him, but he didn't. He is stuck by Wade, which is what makes this next part so incredibly fucking cringe. And I don't know what I would do if it was my biological child. I want you guys to, as you're listening to it, think like, what would I do if this was my child? Think about that.
See it my way. It did the exact opposite. 100% the exact opposite. So now what Mila's going to do, and I'm just guessing this, I don't know for sure, but what Mila's going to do is now she's going to come back and do her own story to combat the fact that Mila Spa isn't your and hers business. Her car isn't you and hers car. You just
her car is not even her car. I don't give a fuck. Her car is not even her car.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Her car is under some sugar daddy's name. I could give a fuck.
Okay, but you're all over there saying, me and Mila, we have a Hellcat. We have a 2016 Hellcat. No, you don't.
You know what, Dad? I don't give a fuck, man.
Okay.
I didn't tell the media shit, bro. I didn't tell them anything that's bad for me. They can say because I'm stumbling over my words. Who gives a fuck, man?
Listen. You can think that way. It's going to bite you in your ass, because now what's going to happen is when these attorneys, when they charge you and these attorneys come to you, I mark my words, they're going to say to you, listen, the worst thing you ever did was do those news interviews, because now you're locked in.
The dad absolutely has tried to help him, and he's given him all the right advice. And that's why Wade is just, it's so cringe, and he doesn't even care or understand his own actions. It's mind-blowing.
Into a story that we can't change. So when you're saying all this to the media, you left out the visit between you and me when on a recorded visitation, you said what you said. Phone calls between you and me where you said what you said. When you talked to Mila and you told her, the
okay,
media
but who
was
told them?
sitting next to her.
Who told them anything about phone calls between me and you? Who told them that?
Wait, it's
Who told
public
them that?
record, son.
Who told them that?
Nobody has told them. The detectives have it, son.
Okay, so no one told them that. Stop it, Dad.
No,
it, man.
Mila,
Give it up, man.
Mila, listen, when you talk to Mila, the media was next to her. She had it on speaker and heard you.
Man, I know that. I already know that. I know that. But I'm talking about with me and you talking on the phone. Who said that?
I do. I do badly.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. First of all the other bullshit, now they're blasting these phone interviews.
All right. Adrian, I kind of answered you wrong. His dad, it's not that he was absent from his life. He gave him up for adoption. So, yes, he's going to be absent from his life because him and Wade's biological mother were 14 and 15 when she got pregnant. So they adopted him out. And he was adopted by a very nice Christian family. So he was technically absent, but not because he was a shit dad, just because he didn't have any rights to him because he gave him away.
All over the place where you talk about, having sex with Kristen. You didn't even say this. It's like the media doesn't give a fuck about you, Wade. They're not the judge and they're not the jury. So you trying to convince them thinking, oh, they're going to put my story out there and people are going to feel bad for me or see it my way. It did the exact opposite. 100%. The exact opposite. So now what Mila's going to do, and I'm just guessing this, I don't know for sure, but what Mila's going to do is now she's going to come back and do her own story to combat the fact that Mila Spa isn't your and hers business. Her car isn't you and hers car. You just
her car is not even her car is not even her car. I don't give a fuck. Her car is not even her car.
Okay,
her car is under some sugar daddy's name. I could give a fuck.
Okay, but you're all over there saying, me and Mila, we have a Hellcat. We have a 2016 Hellcat. No, you don't.
You know what, Dad? I don't give a fuck, man.
Okay.
I didn't tell the media shit, bro. I didn't tell them anything that's bad for me. They can say because I'm stumbling on my words. Who gives a fuck, man?
Listen. You can think that way. It's going to bite you in your ass because now what's going to happen is when these attorneys, when they charge you and these attorneys come to you, I mark my words, they're going to say to you, listen, the worst thing you ever did was do those news interviews because now you're locked into a story that we can't change. So when you're saying all this to the media, you left out the visit between you and me when on a recorded visitation, you said what you said. Phone calls between you and me where you said what you said. When you talked to Mila and you told her, the media
but who
was
told them?
sitting next to her.
Who told them anything about phone calls between me and you? Who told them that?
Wait, it's
who told them that?
Record, son.
Who told them that?
Nobody has told them. The detectives have it, son.
Okay, so no one told them that. Stop it, Dad.
No,
it, man.
Mila,
give it up, man.
Mila. When you talk to Mila, the media was next to her. She had it on speaker and heard you.
I know that. I already know that. I know that. But I'm talking about with me and you talking on the phone. Who said that? And who's the one that you know what I'm saying?
No.
Right. Okay.
Wait, you're not hearing me. Nobody said that. I'm telling you that the detectives. You think they didn't watch that? Do you think they didn't hear all that? They came to talk to you later that night after we visited, and you called me the next day, and I said, hey, did they come see you? Yeah, they came to see me. What happened? I told them the truth, Dad. They have all that. You think that's not going to come up in court?
So talking to the media doesn't fucking matter then.
It changes everything. It shows that you don't give a fuck. It shows that now you're changing your story. It shows
You know what? I give a fuck about people that give a fuck about me. That's what I give a fuck about.
You should.
That's what I give a fuck about. And I'll tell you what, that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I give a fuck about. Period.
I understand, but what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Nothing. I'm just letting you know.
What does that
people that have my best interest in mind, I give a fuck about. Everybody else, I could give a fuck.
Now, think about this for a second. You gave birth to this guy. You didn't raise him, but you gave birth to him. He is not on drugs during these calls. This is about as sober can get. Can you imagine as a biological parent thinking, this is my blood? This psychopath I created. I granted nothing with nature, but I mean, nothing with nurture, but nature. This is my flesh and blood. I can't even imagine that thought as a parent. Like, you know, my kids do something, I'll look at them like, I give birth to you, but nothing of this caliber, like stupid little things. I could not even imagine where my head would be if I gave not even so much as a murderer, like it's double murderer, but the fact that he just doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care that he killed 2 women. He's on the defense for something that it's just blatant fucking stupidity. Like, no, you don't go to the media. You don't do these things, Wade. And he just doesn't give a shit. I just couldn't imagine being a biological parent.
Bless.
And who is that?
Don't worry about who that is.
Kristen?
Don't worry about who that is. Don't worry about who that is.
Okay. Wade, good luck to you, son.
Good luck to you, Dad.
Remember this call.
Just remember when you shit on me, Dad. Every time you shit on me. Remember that. Yeah, every time you shit on me, Dad.
Okay, buddy. Okay, Wade. All right.
Oh, so you didn't shit on me, Dad? You didn't shit on me?
I haven't shit on you.
Did you or did you not?
Shit on you?
Come on, man.
Of course I didn't shit on you.
Don't ask me that question like you don't know.
How did I shit on you?
Don't ask me that question like you don't know.
How did I shit on you?
Do you want me to not have anybody? You want me to not have anybody in my life?
Okay, in psychology, by the way, that is called projection. He is now, and gaslighting. He's trying to twist the narrative. He knows what his dad's saying is right, but he can't face that. He can't handle that. So he's got to twist it to all of a sudden the dad's questioning like the dad did something wrong. If you're ever in a relationship like that, get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out of it. That is what gaslighting is all about. You start to question, and he asks him over and over and over, oh, you didn't do it, Dad? You didn't? All of a sudden, his dad's questioning, like, did I? That triangulation would go again and again and again and again. I feel bad for his dad too, but his dad holds up like he does.
Is that what makes you happy? Is that what makes? No, but that's what you do.
Did I say that?
No, but that's the shit you do.
What did I do?
Every time. That's the shit you do, man. You know, you're not stupid. You're not fucking. You don't have an IQ of fucking. You don't have an IQ of 50, bro. You're not a stupid motherfucker,
You're
bro.
Right. So don't try me.
Notice the shift. His dad, I think his dad did great, but notice the shift. All of a sudden, now Wade is yelling at his dad. All of a sudden, his dad is on a defense. When you're in an abusive relationship, that shift happens all the time and you don't even realize it. Let's say your ex cheated on you and you confront him. By the end of the conversation, you'll be apologizing.
So don't try me like I do. You
try me.
Question,
you try me, bro. You try me, Dad. Always.
How did I try you?
You know, and it's so dumb. You always try me. You don't want me to have anybody in my life. That's crazy. You want to just kick everyone out of my life, bro.
Wait, save that shit. Don't get on fucking TV talking about I'm a God-fearing man and I've got 2 little kids. You haven't asked me one time about your fucking kids. Not one time. Now you're on fucking the media talking about your God-fearing and I've got 2 kids. You're a dumbass because your stupid ass did what you did. Your stupid ass admitted it, and now your stupid ass is on TV claiming you're innocent. You dumb bitch.
Oh, well.
Now your stupid ass is put it out on TV.
Hey, look
well,
how.
Guess what, you stupid
look
ass.
how when I call you out.
With that.
Look how when I call you out, how you snap. You see what I'm saying?
You know what you calling
when I call you out, you show your cards. You show your cards, Dad.
Kid
you show your cards, Dad.
Control his anger.
You show your cards.
2 bitches, and now you're fucking claiming you need $8,000 for legal. You know how much money it would cost to defend your ass on murder charges? What do you think the state attorney thinks?
I guess it's a good thing I haven't. I guess it's a good thing I haven't been. I guess it's a good thing I haven't been charged with murder then, huh?
Confession.
I guess it's a good thing I haven't been charged.
Bitch. No, you will be, unfortunately. You will be. And now, Wade, you're going to wear it because your dumbass can't keep your mouth shut.
Oh, well, you can't keep your mouth shut. You tell everybody everything. Listen, man, you tell everybody everything. You can't keep your mouth shut.
Save that shit, Wade.
No, that's the truth, though. You know how sad that is? That's the truth.
Don't give nobody my number, bitch.
That's the truth.
Don't give nobody the number because I tell the truth. You got this dumbass bitch who on the phone with me, you claim she ain't really a fat girl, Dad. But, you know, she's borderline a fat girl.
Who
cares?
How
stupid you sound?
Who cares? You know the game.
No,
why would you ruin my game? Why do you care to ruin my game?
Attorney cares.
Why do you want to ruin my game? That's what I'm asking you. Answer my question. Why do you want to ruin my game?
Woman like that.
Answer my question. Why do you want to ruin my game? Why do you want to ruin my game?
You ain't got game. You don't have game.
Well, Dad, you know what? Sad to say, I came from you, so who gives a fuck?
Lame as fuck, Wade.
Dad, you're lame as fuck. Dad, you're lame as fuck, Dad. You're lame as fuck, Dad.
With your stories.
You're lame as fuck, Dad.
Lame with your lies.
Oh, well,
now
who cares,
you
Dad?
deal with it. So I care. And you know what? I'm going to stop caring.
Thank you for using GTL.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to.
Yo, his dad burned him. And the sad part is there's nothing his dad said that was wrong at all. His dad was so on point. It was like, whoa. But he was right. I don't even understand how he thinks he could turn it around. And the way he turned it around, I know, right? Get another DNA test. Crazy. I just couldn't imagine being his biological father. I just couldn't. Or his biological mom, for that matter. So did anybody not see the father's interview on Lockdown in 21? I'm going to play parts of it. Hold on. So you guys are all up to date on all the calls. I've played all the calls for everyone already. Hopefully she releases more than one tomorrow. I don't even know how she gets all of them. All right. And notice too, which I thought was interesting, that, Wade's dad said, you never even fucking once asked me about your kids. And it's true. In all these calls, he never once said, hey, how are my kids doing? Nothing. All right. Big shout out to Cutie over here. His name is Lockdown in 23. He's so cute. He is the only one that I think had an interview with the father. A live interview. No, Smitten Kitten. I've played all of them. There was one that I thought we were missing, but no. Over the last couple of days, I played them all. So now you have a face to the voice of the father.
We tried. My mom, she had lung cancer, and him, before, and then she went into labor. She was staying with her. It was what it was.
I mean, now after the fact, later on down the road, if he lived in a somewhat decent foster care.
Yeah, the people that adopted him.
At some point, y'all end up linking back up.
Yeah.
How did that go down? Say that, bro. I'm just playing, man. But
yeah, I thought the same thing. I'm like, where the hell did this dude get this height from? Everybody keeps a lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
He seemed normal.
Huh?
He seemed normal.
No, absolutely not.
Oh no!
But you have to understand. By the time he came into my life, we were in opposite ends of everything. He was where I once was. He was in active addiction. He was, doing that thing. Just everywhere.
I mean, did he tell you this when he first? Did he tell you straight up, "Hey, I'm addicted to this, that, and the third"? Okay, he just straight up told you, huh?
Yeah. Well, we talked, and I knew, I could tell, and I told him about my past, and he told me where he was at that time, and it really, I felt like I needed to make up lost time. So, anything he wanted, I was sending him money, getting him hotel room.
There you go. You know what? I didn't catch that the first time. Thank you, Amber. I didn't catch that the first time. That's why he was, giving him whatever he wanted, because he finally came to him at 18. His dad said he was an addict. So he was just trying to help his son, his biological son, who was also an addict, because obviously, in my opinion, and psychology opinion, addiction is, you're born with it. Everyone who's an addict is born an addict. But addicts are not made. It's a chemical imbalance, which means that's how you were born. What you choose to do with your addiction, that's neither here nor there. I mean, you don't have to be a drug addict. You could just be an addict and be addicted to work or positive things. So I'm not saying if you're an addict, you're all of a sudden a drug addict, but the dad definitely understood where he was at.
Sending him Ubers, anything he needed,
Yeah.
And he was, in and out of jail. He ended up going to prison, and he did about a year, and that's where he lost his teeth at.
How'd that happen?
He just got dumped on. He doesn't do good with men.
Yeah.
He's not built like that. He's a coward when it comes to men.
Yeah.
That's the truth. When he was in prison,
And I totally believe that, because most men that beat on women are fucking cowards when it comes to other guys. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
he was checking in multiple times, owing people money, just doing that stupid stuff. So his anger's always been towards women. He doesn't try men like that.
Well, was there any time where you felt like that you've seen him get violent with women before any of this other stuff took place?
Oh yeah. What would end up happening is, he would get with a girl and they'd hang out, rip and run for a while, and then something would happen, and she'd end up calling me. He he choked me out. He jumped on me last night. I don't know what to do. He scares me. All that. And when he would be high, that's when he gets so paranoid, and he just loses it.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
he becomes a different. How alcohol makes some people courageous.
Yeah.
When he would do meth, that's what would happen. But it was always with women. He's never had a problem with women. Getting women. So that's who he would always take everything out on, is women.
Did he have any kind of relationship with his mom after the whole adoption thing?
A couple times. I think the adoption has hurt her worse than people think. And the older she got, she just never could pull out of it, man. She's been in and out of prison.
So you've
she's
been
lost.
in.
Not that I know of, Pearl. I don't think the mother has. And like I said, this is besides news, this is the only one I could find. But I'm telling you, this is a great interview. The vibe between both of them are fantastic. Like, I can't say enough good things about it.
In his life way more than his mom.
I mean, yeah. She's battled her own issues. She still is trying to get her stuff together. So there was a few times where, he'd want money from me because he'd want to go down to Tampa or St. Pete and run the streets with her. And I said, I'm not doing that.
Wait, with the mom?
With his biological mom.
Oh, okay. So she was ripping and running with him a little bit.
Well, that's what they were trying to do, but I told him, I'm not sending you down here for that. That's going to end you up in trouble. I don't want that for you. And that's your mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's wild, man. All that put together, it could definitely do something to a young man's mind as a child and going up. That's just how it is. Some people it doesn't affect. Some people it does. And also, like I said to you before, some eggs just come out bad, and there's nothing that you can do about it. It's mental issues, man. You know what I mean? Something's wrong with the ticker.
One thing I've heard a lot of is people have said that when she was pregnant with Wade or Anthony, whatever back then, that she used drugs, and that's not true.
Okay.
She never used drugs with him. She didn't drink. She didn't smoke. She didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
Now, as far as any mental illness, I don't know about that because, we haven't seen each other or dealt with each other. So I know she's battled addiction, but she never used with him when she was pregnant.
Well, I mean, she was young, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And,
She was a kid, like me.
yeah, it was different time and age too. I mean, young people can be addicted, but
Yeah.
the majority ain't getting into that super hard stuff till a little older, you know what I mean? But anyways, speaking of which, since you clarified about something, is there any other type of things that you might want to, kind of clarify that you might have been hearing that might be some misconfusion?
One thing I've learned from
Did you guys hear that? He used my word. Misconfusion. I have to contact him about that. I'm going to laugh, but yeah. Did you guys hear that? You guys heard that, right? I was like, "Oh my God, he said misconfusion." And for all the trolls and haters, let me make this clear. No, I don't think he watched me. I'm not Betty, but I do think it's funny the word has traveled. So the fact that he said it, I had to laugh my ass off. Because I don't think I came up with the word, but everyone told me, no, that never heard that one before. I think you created that. So yeah, when I heard him say it, I had to laugh. I was like, that's awesome.
From this whole incident is, I used to be the type that would like scroll through videos and, oh, that's so sweet, or man, that's messed up. And I believed them. I believed the videos. One thing I have learned from this, man, I don't believe nothing because I see so many videos of whoever posting these videos like they have facts about something and they don't even know the half of it,
Yeah.
And it really pisses me off because I'll tell you one thing that pisses me off. They want to post everybody's records. Anybody who was involved with this case, they want to post their records.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn if you post my record.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows me knows my past.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me at all. But, you know, I read these comments and videos that say, how can we believe these people? Look at their past. They've been arrested. They've been to jail. They've been drug addicts. But you can't have it both ways. Wade's a drug addict. Wade's been to prison. Wade has a past. So you're defending him because you believe he's innocent, and that's your choice. But you know, you can't criticize or judge anybody else about their past when the person you're defending has the exact same past and a lot worse than most.
Yeah.
So I just think it's so hypocritical. You
Oh,
know.
yeah. A lot of things
That-
can be.
Yeah,
For sure.
and you know, I've even seen stuff, you know, about my wife because I had the phone on speakerphone, and you know, my wife was subpoenaed to testify. She didn't want to testify. I didn't want to testify, but they chose not to use her. So, you know, people have questioned that. You know, why did the wife? Why didn't they? It's just ridiculous. You know, it's almost like people are trying to just find anything to justify how they feel about this case. You know,
They wanted someone else to blame other than Wade. Like,
exactly.
You've already heard this question quite a bit. Let's start about around the time when he tells you about the first murder.
Yeah.
How the hell did that go down, man? Did you even believe him at first?
No. You know, he's never told me a story like that. Hey, I killed somebody. Usually it's a long drawn out, you know, my car's broke down, or his girlfriend's car's broke down. We need tires. We need this. You know, so it was always those type of kind of junky move stories, you know, and just needing help, you know. But so when he called me, I was working. It was early afternoon, and it was a random number that I didn't recognize, but that was normal. He would call me from all different kinds of numbers. You know, he couldn't keep a phone. So I answered the phone, and he said, hey, Dad, I need some help. Well, I automatically thought, you know, he needs a hotel. He needs money,
Yeah.
for whatever. So you know, it was a hot day. I was frustrated. I said, listen, call me around dinner time. I'll be done working. Just call me then. We'll figure it out. So he calls me, and he's in a panic. You know, I could tell he's high, and I need help. I've done something.
And I will say this much, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Being a drug addict doesn't make you a bad person. Being a drug addict, even with a horrendous criminal record because of drugs, I don't mean murder or rape or anything like that. I'm saying that if you are a drug addict and you have armed robbery, let's say, because you had to get high, don't judge people that only had issues while they were getting high or went to prison while they were getting high. And then after, when they got sober, they never got in trouble again. That's related to drugs. So for anyone that is not a drug addict, don't judge and say, oh, well, they all have criminal past. Because a lot of drug addicts do, but it doesn't make them a bad person. Drug addicts are everyday people too. They just were born with a chemical imbalance that it's not their fault. It's our fault if we pick up drugs, but it's not our fault that we were born with a chemical imbalance. So anyone that's judging an addict or a past history based on addiction, you got to change your mindset. That's not of you for saying, oh, you mean thank you? I'm going to relate that, Debbie, to thank you.
Can't take back. You know, there's two people that aren't with us anymore. And
did you know any of those girls?
Didn't
know nothing about them, huh?
I live 2 hours away, you know, so I'm not familiar with that area at all.
Yeah.
You know, and my first thought was, oh God, here we go. You know, I just thought he was on one. And we talked for a few minutes. I said, listen, I'm on my way home. I said, call me back tonight and we'll figure it out. You know, I said, are you safe where you are? And he said, yeah, I'm good. I'm in the house. I'm good. I said, all right. So in the meantime,
And he's already told
did
you
it.
about taking 2 people out.
Yeah, but it was general. That's all he said, and he didn't say, he just said, I've done something I can't take back. So
Now, look, I know you've told. I hate to stop you. I know you've told
Yeah.
this story before, but I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it.
Yeah,
Honestly, I haven't
yeah.
heard it. I even in the court trial, I just kind of watched that little snippet that they had.
Mhm.
But my next move probably would have been to tell my old lady.
that was part of it, because here's where I kind of get things twisted sometimes. I'm a changed person, I promise you.
Uh-huh.
But a lot of times I go back in that mode. Okay. And I know when something's going on, a lot of times I just react and I don't take a breath and think about it, and that was part of it. I wanted to get home.
And that is typical addict behavior. And I'm the first one to say I do that too. I automatically put myself in defensive mode. I automatically react. I don't think first. I just react. You guys have seen that multiple times on this platform, but I've gotten better. But that's just where the chemical imbalance comes in. It just clicks. You don't think about things. You just fucking react. No matter how old you get, no matter how long you've been off drugs, there are certain triggers that just cause you to react. So I can totally relate to him.
I wanted to talk to my wife because I knew there was a different vibe about this conversation with him, but I just wasn't ready for it yet. But I knew something was coming, So I did. I went home, but before
I'm putting myself in your shoes, man. I'm putting myself in your shoes. Immediately, I would have been like, I'm going to the crib, and I already know what my old lady can say. Look, he killed someone. Record everything. That's the first thing she's gonna tell me to do. Record. Yeah. She's got 4 different recordings, recording every.
Yeah. The good thing about my wife is I've known her longer than I've known, Wade's biological mom.
Wow.
So she knows everything about me.
Wow. That's a long time. Well,
yeah.
Before you move forward, look, you being locked up and you know that this kind of conversation's on its way. Are you feeling any kind of paranoia?
No.
No,
because one thing about me that I've learned over the years of doing the right thing, I just don't, if my hands are clean, I don't worry about it on that angle. I worry about it on an emotional level, because I don't know where we're about to go with things.
Yeah.
But, but in the meantime, as I'm driving home.
And for those of you that don't know anyone with a long criminal record or a hard criminal record, the reason why he asked that question, in my opinion, because a lot of people that have spent time in jail, as soon as there's a cop involved or a detective, they automatically go on a defense and they get paranoid. It's a normal reaction if you're afraid you're going to go back to jail, even if you didn't do anything. I hear that a lot of Black people feel this way if they're being tailed like by a cop. They feel all of a sudden a paranoia because they're afraid they're going to get shot. The cop's not going to listen. They're going to get that bad cop. I've heard this from a lot of different people. So that's why, in my opinion, he asked that question.
I get a call, and it's a detective from the Cape Coral Police Department.
Before you even talk to him again.
Yeah. In between the second call and me getting home to talk to my wife, I get a call from a detective. And what he had done was called me from one of these girls' phones.
Oh, man.
So that's how they got my phone number. And in the process, I got a text message from somebody telling me that my son had jumped on his girlfriend and tried to kidnap her. So as I'm on the phone with the detective, I get a text message that tells me that. So I'm thinking, oh man. The detective asked me who I was. I said, I'm his biological father. And she said, do you know where he's at? And I said, no, I don't know where he's at. And she said, have you heard from him? I said, yeah, I've talked to him a couple times today. And she said, are you going to talk to him again? We need to talk to him. And I said, he said he'd call me later, And she said, listen, take this number down. If you hear from him, call us. I said, okay. hung up the phone with her, went home, talked to my wife, told my wife about the text, told my wife about the detective, you know, what Wade had said to me. And that's the only details I knew at that time. So, you know, I was kind of left for a couple hours waiting to hear from him. And he finally called me. It was about 10 o'clock at night when he called me from the same number he called me from earlier.
And it's a girl's number.
No, not the first time. That was
okay.
from the girl phone. The second time was from a different number.
Oh, okay.
And he told me he was in a house, he was safe. What he did was he took both of their phones. So he kept Christine's phone open and called me from that phone initially. And then a lot of stuff happened in between, and he ended up in a house. You know, he broke into a house. He called me about 10 o'clock, and we talked, just small talk for a few, you know, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, Dad, I need you to come get me. I'm in trouble. So I'm like, you know, my first reaction, I said, are you safe? And he goes, I'm safe. I just got to get out of here. So I jump up. I'm going to get my shoes on, get ready, and I'm going to drive down there and get him. Well, as I'm thinking about it, I said to myself, you better find out what's going on before you just drive down there.
Start touching things.
End up in some stuff. You know, I don't want to be involved with this.
I'm like, hold on, bro. Hold on, son.
Yeah.
Hold on, man. Let's talk about these two people you killed first, because I ain't coming over there and touching nothing of yours. As I would have done said straight like that to him.
Yeah. Well, I said to him as I'm getting.
Now, when I heard that, only a criminal or a criminal mind would think like that, in my opinion, because I would automatically go over there, even if it was to hug him, if it was to hold him, something. I don't think that I'd be like, no, I'm not coming over there. Like, my first reaction would be go pick up my son or go help my kid. So, in my opinion, only a criminal mind. Thank you, Amber. Only a criminal mind would think, yeah, no, not so much. You know, let's not go over there. Not saying Lockdown in 23 is a criminal, but you know, from his name, he's probably done some time. So, and he covers all prison stuff. So I'm going to assume that he's been in prison. But yeah, I don't know. I would automatically go help my kid. I wouldn't even think twice about touching stuff. I just don't think like that. And again, Amber, thank you so much. That's true. My kid is a lot nicer. I agree. But you know what I'm saying, though?
Ready and getting all my shit together. I said, listen, you got to tell me what's going on. I said, you know my past. I said, I need to know what's going on. And he started from the top. You know, he told me him and Mila went to the Buddha, hanging out, you know, and he gave me kind of a shorter version. He said they got into an argument.
And Mila's one of his girlfriends.
That was his girlfriend.
Main girlfriend at the time.
Yeah, at the time, yeah. He said, we got an argument, and I ended up leaving the bar with two girls. And I was like, okay. He left out the whole part about going to the dude's house and all that. He didn't tell me any of that. All he said was they went back to one of the girls' houses and hung out for a little while. He said her friend left and they had sex and she fell asleep on the bed. And he said he stayed up for a little while, just kind of partying. And he said he just walked in there, got on top of her and choked her to death. And at first I was thrown by it. You know, I didn't know. I'm trying to hear in his voice, you know, is this another story? But I can hear the panic in his voice, you know. I said, why, son? And he said, Dad, I don't know. Just wanted to do it. So
you believe that?
What's that?
Do you believe that?
The truth about it is, for years, I've told my wife, I said, my biggest fear is one day he's going to kill one of these girls. Because I'm telling you.
You had so many calls, man, from the girls getting beat by him.
Multiple girls.
Hey, Crystal. I don't see you, but I see Johnny said hi. what I have a hard time with, he said, like, I can see where the father would be afraid that he was gonna kill one of these girls, because when he breaks up with someone, they have a fight, but he didn't even kill one of those girls. He killed these random girls that didn't even know him. He didn't have a history with them. Oh, she got a gift of membership. Um, it didn't even, like, didn't even have it, they didn't know him. There was no relationship. So it's so fucking weird to me that it's just so weird to me that they um that he killed two random girls.
Girls, man, would call me, text me, you know, just desperate. Young girls, you know, just don't know what to do, don't know how to deal with it, looking for help, you know. And everybody would say, you know, when he's not on drugs, man, he's a great dude. He's funny. He's cool to hang out with, you know, but it's something in him, man, when he gets high, he flips out, man. I just think I think he just took it one step farther this time. I think he's wanted to do that for a long time. I know he's never done that before. He's never killed a woman before. I know that. But I feared that he would one day. So when he told me that, it hurt me, but it didn't surprise me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's wanted to do it for a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think about all these, you know, videos and all this that people talk about. I wonder what all these people would say if all these prior girlfriends and baby mamas, um, told their story.
Yeah.
Because they've been pretty quiet. I haven't seen anything from any of them.
You know, just trying to make sense of it. It's wild to think, man.
Yeah,
I know
my 15-year-old,
uh-huh.
you know, these kids, they don't put their phones down.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard on my young son because, you know, his friends have seen it, you know, and kids in school I know have probably seen all this madness. And, you know, they talk shit, but he's a strong kid. And I've taught him to be strong mentally.
And I never even thought of that until this was said. He's got other kids and he's got a 15-year-old. Imagine this is your brother. This is your biological half brother from the same dad. And here you are. Your brother committed a double murder for absolutely no reason. Your brother is a fucking celebrity. Your brother did this. Like, I feel really bad for him. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah. And he's handling it really good.
Well, that's
so
good.
I'm proud
That's
of him.
good.
Yeah. You know, so the more he talked about it to me, the more I could hear it in his voice. He was almost reliving it. You know what I mean? And I had such a feeling listening to him tell me what he had done. You know, it got to the point where I put the phone on speakerphone because I felt like if I told my wife this, she wouldn't have believed me.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt like I needed somebody else to hear this because I almost felt, you know, I went back to like seeing him born in my memory, you know, bringing him home, holding him as a baby, sleeping with him, bathing him, feeding him, doing all these things with him. You know, I missed all those other years. So my memory of him was as a baby. And now he's a man. And I'm hearing this man that I created, helped create, telling me the details of all these things with joy in his voice. You know, it made me want to throw up. I literally put the phone away and felt like I was just going to throw up. And at that moment, that's the moment when I realized I hadn't even heard about Diane's situation yet. But just the details that he went into about Christine, you know, rolling her up in the bedding and tying her up and dragging her down the, you know, trying to get her to the car, but he couldn't. She was too heavy, you know. Hearing him describe those things to me, it just, I can't explain that feeling, you know, from your kid, you know, your son. Yeah, I didn't raise him. But we had a strong connection because he knew my past and we talked about that. We talked about, you know, getting help for his demons, you know, getting him some drug help to get off the drugs. We had detailed conversations, and that's why he called me. That's why, you know, he felt comfortable to talk to me about it, because I think a part of him knew that I wouldn't judge him on it.
Now, let me also say, I think that this dad is absolutely fantastic. I think he's 100% honest. Now, he could be, you know, big snowball and he could be lying through his teeth, but I don't think so. I usually have a pretty good judge of character, and I think this dad is 100% being honest. And very relatable and very, you know, like you do feel for him, but he's not looking for affection. He's, you know, or people to feel bad for him. He's just telling his story as honest as can be. That's my feeling.
But he knew I wouldn't be okay with it, because we had countless conversations about the physical stuff with these girls in the past, you know, and I would try to give him a different perspective. You know, what if that was one of your sisters, man? You know, what if that was your biological mom? What if that was your adopted mom? Would you want somebody treating him that way? You know, but it never changed. You know, I know, Dad, I know I'm wrong, but the cycle would continue, you know?
Yeah.
So it was hard to hear, for sure.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Honestly, I think it's worse as a biological parent than as a parent who raised you. Nurture versus nature. Parent that raised you, yeah, you can definitely, you know, go the wrong way. But when it's a chemical imbalance, that's how you were born. Him being a murderer or a psychopath could have developed over time, but the seed was planted from the biological parents. So I think it's worse a biological parent.
Well, you already know that the detectives are pretty much getting a lead to everything that he's doing. So you know they're gonna hear this.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, before he even started continuing the story, in my mind, I knew, you know, I can't help him with this.
Oh, it was sealed shut right there.
I'm a firm believer, man. You don't hurt children and you don't hurt women, you know? And these women were innocent. It's not like they got they were in a relationship and got in a heated argument. You know, this was on the fly.
Yeah.
And it stemmed from.
He was actually a pretty normal child. He was very good in school. He was an athlete, played a lot of sports. He did start doing drugs at a very young age, though. I want to say like 13 or 14. He was very young, but he was a good student. He was a good kid. Didn't really get in trouble much. And a pretty normal life and good adopted parents.
From his anger from his argument with Mila. That's where he really got pissed off.
Oh, man.
At the bar.
See, now look, this is another little picture I was painting in my head. A lot of guys, man, you know, if the girl's really mad at him for leaving with another girl, he could have snapped and said, you know, well, I'm going to take her out. Maybe I'll make her feel a little better, because he's so mad in a rage, you know?
Yeah. And I don't know the ins and outs of the argument. He never went in detail with me about it, but I knew that that's where it stemmed from. His anger started there that night. And then, you know, the drugs and just probably stewing on that argument. He did what he did.
Yeah.
You know? And so at that point, you know, I wasn't 100%, but I was about 95% knowing this is bad. You know, this I cannot I cannot go along with this, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
And that's the thing, man. A lot of people, maybe not so many, but there's going to be some that would say, that would say, oh, hell no. Even after talking to detectives and all that, I'm gonna still protect him. I'm not, ain't no way, you know, you get smoked right with him. You know what I mean? At this point, there ain't no helping, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, besides mentally, you know.
Right, exactly. And let me just make this clear. I've read a lot of stuff where people say, hell no, you know, that not my son. I would never turn my son in. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hard decision, I promise you. And it's the worst decision I've ever had to make, like in my mind. But I knew, because I know him so well, I knew in my heart what was gonna happen. 100%. I knew what was gonna happen. I could hear it in his voice. And you know, I tried, it was so bad, I was trying to almost calm him down, you know, because he was so amped up telling me about it. And you know, he just told me, you know, he left her. He left her in the house. He took her car, took her phone, and and then he went into he didn't go in detail about Mila much in that situation, but he told me he was driving. He's like, I don't know where I'm at. You know, he hadn't been in Fort Myers, Cape Coral area long at all. So he had no sense of direction. He didn't know where he was at. He was just driving. And to jump to Diane's situation, he told me that he saw her walking down the street. You know, he stopped, he asked her for directions, asked her if she needed a ride, and she got in the car. You know, I don't, you know, I battle with that because I don't get that part of it. And you know, who knows what really happened.
At that point, he could have just snatched her up, man.
Yeah.
And painted a picture however he wanted to paint it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know, he told me she got in the car. And
I hate to stop you again, but you hear comments like that. What kind of girl would just jump in someone's car? You know what I mean? We don't know. You're don't know, man. Don't know what people will take anything and run with it, man. You know, you can't. You got to leave. It's too many possibilities. You know, we only know what we know.
And there was only 2 people there for that situation, and he's the only one that's able to tell what happened. Yeah. So, you know, he told me they drove for a few minutes, and he said, Dad, I just reached over and I just choked the bitch out with one hand, you know, and I was driving with the other. He said he then was looking for somewhere to dump her body, and he drove around for a little bit, and he said he went in and dumped her body in the woods. And he said to me, when he pulled her out of the car, he realized that she was still alive. And he said he got back in the car and he said, Dad, I run that bitch over till she looked like spaghetti.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Hearing my son say that to me, I realized at that point that it was over. You know, I knew he enjoyed it. I knew he wanted me to feel, I don't even think intentionally he wanted me to feel his excitement. I just feel like he just was so amped up talking about it. You know, that's just how it came off to me. It was almost like he wanted me to feel, you know, I don't want to say joy. I don't know what the feeling was. Just adrenaline, maybe. You know, he wanted me to feel that.
Maybe he wanted you to have some kind of a acceptance of it a little bit. I don't know, man. Or maybe, you know, he was trying to get you tricked the hell up too. Yeah. Some little.
I think it's wild. And granted, none of us know what his dad was feeling, but can you imagine just put that spin on it? Your son, your biological son, just killed 2 people and is laughing, is adrenaline pumped. Like, who the fuck has adrenaline pumped after you murder 2 people? The fact that he said, I fucking ran that bitch over till she looked like spaghetti. Did he want his father to laugh? Like, I always say that I would protect my kids at any cost. But would I, if I knew that they enjoyed killing? Absolutely not. I couldn't. If they were remorseful and, you know, oh my God, what the fuck did I do? You know, I can't believe I get that. I would protect them at any cost. but I think his dad would have too, if there was remorse, if there, it had been an accident or something like that. But the fact that his dad caught on, that he felt joy over this is fucking sick.
Like some bitter payback stuff. He's going down. He's going to bring the dad that should have been there for me down too. You never know. Because, anyone who's been locked.
No, they did find her, Jeanette. He told them where she was. They absolutely did find them. It did find her. They found her because he gave it up.
Locked up knows. Talking like to someone like that, you're making them an accessory right off the break. Yeah. Anyone would know that. And if they care about him at all, they wouldn't, So they'd be very bland. But from what he's broke down everything to you.
And I'm giving you the short version of things.
Yeah.
When I tell you, it's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. It's the worst thing that I've ever listened to in my life. And it amplified it so much because, like I said, all I could think about was him as a baby, just that innocent kid, and I just my mind was like, how did we get here? You know what I mean? How did we get here? Because he wasn't raised like that. His adoptive family, they're solid people, good people, hardworking, honest Christian people.
Have you spoken to them at all since that took place?
Yeah, I've spoken with his mother. Yeah.
I can only imagine how they're feeling about it. Like they can't.
Yeah, it's. I know how I feel. I can only imagine raising him. And they went through a lot. They tried everything with him. They tried everything. They put him in facilities to try to help him. They knew he was using drugs. They tried to get him help. He was in and out of detention centers, and he chose a different route. They did their job, and they tried to instill morals and good values in him.
Yeah, salute to them, man.
So they're solid people. This is not a reflection, anything on any part of them, because
not the investigator, the father. The father, I'll tell you the story. The father, at first they couldn't find Diane. They had no idea where she was. He didn't know the area to tell them where they were. So the father, knew that he could probably get it out of him if he asked him a certain way. So at first the father, saw on the news that he may tell the story. I don't remember where I heard him tell the story. It may even be coming up, but just in case it's not. They had no idea where to find her. So the dad, had said to Wade, where was she? And he said, Dad, I don't remember. So it's something about the dad said something about the pocketbook. I threw a pocketbook out the window. She's right. Oh, he does tell it. All right, then I'm not going to tell it then. I'll wait for him to explain it.
Excitement that I heard in your voice on the phone scared me, because I knew that if you got away with this and got out of this area, that you would do it again.
Yeah.
And he looked at me for a minute and he said, you know me so well. And I said, what does that mean? And he said, you're exactly right. That's exactly what I would have done. And hearing him say that, it just solidified for me that I had made the right decision.
Oh yeah.
Because, he openly said that to me, man, that was his intention, to get out of this area and keep on going. So for that, I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't bother me, because I know in my heart that I did the right thing. I made the right choice.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
when I did that first video and I said that, man, can't let it ruin your whole life. You got other kids and all kinds of stuff going on, man. He would ruin all their lives if you wanted to go. You would have to go on to run with your son. I mean, the detectives already heard everything, So it's ridiculous for people to even think that would help anything. It wouldn't.
Yeah,
it wouldn't help nothing. I mean, did it end well, that conversation?
Yeah, yeah. You know, in that visit was the first time that I saw or heard some emotion in my son's voice, because I said to him, I said, listen, you know, the second woman, I said, you know, she has 2 kids, right? And he was like, no. And I said, yeah, you know, I said, it's really hard for me, son, to sit at home and watch this media coverage and seeing her children on TV begging their mom to come home. I said, it's hard for me, son, because you and I both know that that's not going to happen. And I said to him, I said, you know, think about it. What if that was your sisters, your mother, your biological mom, you know, a woman you cared about? What, you know, would you want just, you know, someone to do the right thing? You know, I said, right now you look like an animal. I said, but you can turn it around. You know, you can do the right thing. I said, they need to find her body. And he was, you know, he had tears in his eyes. And he said, well, what do I do? I said, you tell the truth, son. I said, you tell the truth. What's done is done. You can't change it, but you can try to make it a little better, you know, for this family. And I didn't anticipate for him to go into detail with me about it, you know, but he said, I'm not familiar with Fort Myers. You know, I don't know the area. And I just thought to myself for a second, I said, did you throw her purse out of the car? And he said, yeah. I said, well, they found her purse. And it's like a light bulb clicked in his head. And he said, okay, well, where her purse was, you know, if you go down a little bit, there's like a neighborhood where they're building houses. They're real spread out. He said, I turned in there and I went to the back and I saw a wooded area. And that's where I put her body. So thankfully he did that. You know, he did the right thing with that. And
the truth.
I know they found her body that day. So he asked me, you know, will you tell the detectives to come talk to me? And I'll tell them the truth. Well, they were watching the video, you know, the visit. So they already knew the truth. And they did come talk to him that night. And that's where that confession that was played in court, that's when that happened, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've heard people say, you know, he was set up. I've read stuff that says, you know, his dad probably did it.
Yeah.
And he's, you know, using his son as the fall guy. It blows my mind. It blows my mind, the theories that people come up with sometimes, you know.
Don't worry, Dad. There's a whole group talking about the organization that did it. Maybe you're part of the organization.
Yeah.
You had asked me about you know, when I first met him.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, we talked for a little while and he was in and out of jail. You know, the time he was in Tallahassee, I was in Central Florida. So, you know, it never worked out. And he ended up getting locked up one day in Tallahassee in the county jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I called up there and talked to a supervisor or whatever. And I said, you know, I explained the situation to him. I said, this is my son, you know, he was given up for adoption. Haven't had the chance to meet him. You know, is there any way I can come up and visit? And he said, can you be here tonight? I said, yeah. And he said, all right, when you get here, I'll let you visit for a little while. So that's where we met face to face the first time, you know. And I remember he was already sitting down through the glass, you know, when I walked up and we picked up the phone and he looked at me and he said, are you my dad? I said, yeah, I'm your dad. And he said, I knew it. You know, it was almost like we just, you know, we connected, you know.
Sad, man.
Yeah, we did connect, but you know, we just never had the chance. You know, he was doing his thing. So
It's your son, man. You know.
Yeah.
Very, very, very sad story. But I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's one hell of a story. You know,
Yeah,
something out of a fictional movie. You
Yeah.
know?
It's crazy.
No parent can ever imagine something like this unfolding. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've had people ask me, you know, what if one of your 2 boys did something like this? What would you do? And I said, first of all, I raised those boys. I can promise you they would never do that. I would bet my life that would never happen, you know. I've taught them good morals. Their moms taught them good morals. And I don't know where that comes from, man. I'm not that guy. You know, I'm not aggressive like that with women. I'm not I don't do that. You know, so I don't know. I don't know where that came from, man. You know, I have dealt with a little guilt behind this, and I know it's stupid, and I know that it's not my fault
I
at
think
all.
it's normal, man. Everyone would feel a little bit if they got a heart, you know.
Well, my guilt comes from he was in Tallahassee, man. He wasn't doing good. He said he wanted to straighten up. He said he wanted to get clean. He wanted to come down here with me and work, and I said to him, I said, listen, you can't come down here and work with me like this. I said, you need to get some help, man. I said, I'll set it up for you. I'll take care of everything. And I didn't think he would go, but he went. And I put him on a bus from Tallahassee to Palm Beach. And he stayed a couple weeks in the facility and met up with somebody and left, and my guilt has always been, maybe if I hadn't sent him down to South Florida, heading down to Palm Beach and the Keys and all that, it was wide open for him.
Yeah.
Just so you know, Florida has some of the best drug rehabs in the entire country. So dad should not feel guilty about sending him to it.
I thought he had a good setup. He was working, and the problem was he just couldn't stop. He couldn't stop getting high. He couldn't stop the drinking. He doesn't have a license, so he's driving all over the Keys, getting pulled over, getting arrested, going to jail. I heard this theory that said, when he was down in the Keys, it was a whole international drug ring. And
oh yeah, I remember hearing about this.
Human trafficking and this and that. And he was brought down for security. Listen, do you really think a big organization like that is going to hire a convicted felon with no license to be their driver and their security?
Yeah.
No, they're not doing that.
Well,
I mean, it's common sense thinking,
And there's a lot of things that I've said to myself, man, he is just making stuff up, And when I've realized that, then I realized, like we were talking about earlier, anything could be possible. And the way these individuals died, how it all happened, everything could just be a bullshit paint job, with a little bit of truth in it. If I were to bet it, I'd bet my whole house on it,
100%. And you know how it goes when people first get arrested and they're coming off that dope or whatever they're doing. That's when they're more authentic. They're making those phone calls and they're apologizing and they're telling the truth. It's when they've sobered up and they've had time to think about and process what they've done and what they're facing. That's when the stories start. That's when, I need to make that. I'm innocent. And these stories are created and these people run with these stories.
Yeah.
It's madness to me.
Yeah.
The irony of it is he's still pulling the strings from a jail cell. He's got, it's just crazy. I was looking at these accounts, raising money and stuff. And
yeah, but Rika, the whole organization thing is complete bullshit. That was the story that I played last night from TikTok of all his innocent supporters that think he's innocent. That's the story that his dad's talking about. If you watch my video from last night, you'll hear it. There is no organization.
I may have missed it, but I went down the list of all these people that have donated. And hey, what you do with your money, that's your money. I don't care what you donate your money to, but it's just all women. It's all women. And if you really
that's kind of scary, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, really sit back and think about if you go down the donation list, it's all women.
Yeah.
So think about that. He's pulling y'all strings from a jail cell, and he's a good looking kid. He's a man. And he knows it. He knows he's a good.
I think that's a bulk. If he was ass ugly, man, I don't think it would be going down like that. Trust me.
There was.
I do have something I got to ask you, man. Yeah. And I was like, how the hell did he get that nice blue suit in the courtroom? Who got him that suit, man?
All right, this is simple. There's when he was in Palm Beach, he met a guy. He's a Christian guy, I think. Him and his wife. They have like an outreach, to help young people on the streets and young drug addicts and stuff like that. And he befriended this guy, and this guy went to Goodwill prior to the trial starting and matched up all the suits and had
Man,
them
he got
for
that
him.
snazzy thing from the Goodwill.
Yeah, he said he went to Goodwill and got them.
I thought someone important got them threads dug up for.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
they even let him in there with something that flashy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder, did the guy know what he was going to court for?
Yeah. He knew the situation. I think he's still in touch with Wade. I think they still communicate.
Yeah. He knew he had to dress to impress for that, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. But yeah, the ladies might see him in that sharp suit, you know, bad boy look, and not to mention a lot of girls too. You know, they're trying to get a payday too.
Yeah, I saw something earlier where, mentioned, thankfully he's been able to be in touch with his family again.
Oh yeah,
and I can assure you, he has not reached out to anybody, his adoptive parents, anybody. So
not even you.
No, nobody. Because I hate to say this, but he doesn't need anybody right now. His commissary's fat. He's got an army of wives, I think they call themselves.
My God, man.
And that's all he's ever wanted. Take care of me in jail, take care of me on the streets, take care of me. And as his dad, I hate that. I hate that side of him. It's so much easier to be genuine and honest and not use people. And I hate that for him. I hate that at his age that he still does that. But he knows he's a good looking man, and that's his MO.
Yeah, very selfish individual. It sounds like, man.
Yeah, and I just I wish I had more time to try to help him through some of those issues and turn him around. But there's just no going back from that. So, there's an old saying. I've thought about it today. It says, "I brought you into this world, and I'll take you out of it." And I know what it implies, but I don't mean it that way. I mean the free world. I felt like as his dad, with what he did, it was my responsibility to not have another family go through that, and it was hard for me to do that. But in my heart, I knew that was the right choice. So I don't regret it.
Yeah. I mean, do you think, was there any point before he stopped talking to you that you had wind that he might be really angry at y'all?
I asked him, and when we were visiting, and he said, "I'm not mad at you. I know you did what you had to do." So I know that was the genuine Wade in that visitation. So I kind of hold on to that because we haven't spoke. The last time we spoke, we got into it on the phone because he was reaching out to the media, trying to do these interviews from jail, and claiming I'm set up. I didn't.
And that was the last call that I just played. That's what he's talking about. So he hasn't spoken to Wade in 4 years. That's interesting. But it's crazy, though, that I decided to play this right after we just heard that exact call that he's talking about.
And do it.
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
Yeah, he called me after that. And I said, "Son, what are you doing, man?" I said, "Listen, I know what you're trying to do, but the way it comes off, it just, you sound so phony. You sound fake. You're stumbling over your words. You're kind of making stuff up as you go." And I said, it's not being received well. I had told him, I said, don't talk to the media. I know they have a job to do and I respect their job, but when you're trying to fumble over your words and kind of make stuff up on the fly, it comes off bad. And that was my point, to telling him that, you don't need
all that stuff might be brought up and looked at during his full sentencing as well, so
exactly.
Judges might see this stuff and see right through the evilness and like, this guy's got to go. Florida's good for that, man. They're definitely are. But this is another thing, if he ever hits any other prisons, if he don't stay, do you know if what kind of living conditions he's in? 23 and 1, I'm guessing.
Yeah. They've got him locked down. Him and a cellmate that he had a few years ago. tried to escape out of the jail
Yeah, I read
out of
about
their
that.
window.
Yeah.
So I think since then he's been locked down.
Yeah, no,
So
especially with the popularity of the case too now. Probably gonna
yeah,
keep him in there because if he ever hits the main line, man, some people might have something in store for him. You know?
yeah. And the other thing I feel like I have to defend in a way is is all these swastikas and all that.
Yeah,
That's not who he is. You know, he at all. That's not who he is. That's all for show. That's his defense mechanism. You know, because like I said before, when he was in prison, I think he spent more time in protective custody than he did on the yard. So I think that's all just trying to look big and bad. You know, I just wanted to say, you know, I haven't spoke to anybody about this. You know, I've had reporters. I get so many messages, and that's just not my thing. You know,
yeah,
I didn't have to be in this situation, but from the start, you know, I respected your take on everything because, you know, you understand the
yeah,
situation and you've been vocal on that. And I appreciate that
yeah,
because a lot of people have had my back, but a lot of people have condemned me for what I think doing the right thing,
yeah.
you know, and it
Well,
was hard, but I
well,
did it because I knew I needed to.
I mean, he even said it to you, man. I was gonna do it again. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, that should solidify any kind of thought process like that for you, at least. But
Well, maybe all these online detectives, maybe they can figure out a way to get a copy of that visit video. And, you know, I guess at that point they'll figure out a way to, you know, discredit something. But
yeah, they always will. You know, they always
yeah,
will. It's how it goes. You know, but
yeah,
sad what he did, and my condolences go out to the family members once again. Had to go
absolutely.
through any family member, even the Foster family. They raised him, so I'm sure they felt a lot like it was their own. You know,
Yeah. And you know what else, man, that I don't think people really get, or maybe they just don't care. But, you know, when you put all this misinformation out and you're posting all the same old pictures and the same old stupid stuff, you need to think about these two women's families.
yeah,
You need to think about, you know, their children, man. You know, it's not just Wade that's going through something. It's not, you know, they have to watch this if they choose to.
yeah,
And they know what it feels like to go through what they went through. And I can assure you it was horrific to both of these women.
yeah,
And it was unnecessary. But before you say things and post things, you really should sit back and think about these people whose
yeah,
lives forever are changed
yeah,
because of something that should have been avoidable, you know?
yeah.
So,
It is what
but
it
I
is,
appreciate
man.
you.
Yep, I appreciate you as well, my friend. And you know, how are you gonna feel if they say death?
You know, I don't even know, man. I don't even know because I think I'm torn with that because I've always been I've seen it differently. You know, I get a lot of people, you know, they no death penalty about, and I get it. I respect your opinion, but I personally have lived with some of the worst monsters, and I've seen their behavior. You know, and so I have a different outlook on certain things. You know, there's a limit to people's grace when it comes to, you know, certain crimes. But I do feel when you do something so just brutal, you know, I don't know. There's no rehabilitation in prison. You know, just it's just no different than an animal shelter. You know, they let you out a little bit, throw you some food, throw you some water, whatever. You know, there's no rehabilitation. So I'm torn with that because I know in his heart he doesn't want to be in general population for the rest of his life. I know he wants that security, and I know that you know, being on death row, you know, isolated, I think a part of him really knows that he has to have that because with everything he's put all over himself and with the things he's done and some of his life choices, he knows he can't freely walk a prison yard. You know, it's just not going to happen. So, you know, I don't know. When that day comes, you know, that's something I'll have to live with the rest of my life, thinking about, you know, my child possibly getting executed. So You know, I haven't even dove deep on that one yet.
Yeah, I can only imagine, man. Because you know, even though you did connect with him, you know, I'm guessing he's still kind of like a little bit of a stranger to you in a sense, huh?
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, and I'm the type of person, man. I'm a fixer. You know, I want to. You know, people that know me know I'm going to help you. I'm there. You know, anything. But I don't know. This one got me. You know, I wasn't expecting it. So I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. It just shit into the stick. You know, you got to play your cards how they're dealt. That's all you can do about it, man. Is there any kind of advice that you could give to any parents out there that might be dealing with a violent kid or anything, you know, anything that might come across your mind?
I mean, the only thing I can say is, you know, do what's right. Do everything in your power to help them. You know, get through it. Push them. Sometimes tough love is the best. But I pray nobody is in this situation as a parent. And you know, ultimately, at the end of the day, if you know that you've done everything in your power for that child, and they still choose to make certain choices, you know, it hurts. You know, you can you wish you could fix it, but you have to do what's right, and you have to think about other people and their suffering.
Yeah.
And it's hard when it's at the hands of a life you created. You know, it's hard.
Yeah.
How awesome was that interview? Krama people, let me give you some advice. Watch that interview for pointers. I have seen so many people interview, and if the person they're interviewing is like long-winded, they'll make eye rolls, they're not paying attention. It's horrible. The way this guy interviewed was absolutely perfect. Besides, he's cute as hell, but it was absolutely perfect. Even when Wade's dad was long winded, didn't matter. He never looked like he lost interest. And I watched him, never looked like he lost interest. He was always on point, he was always in tune. And he just spoke to him like an everyday guy. I cannot say enough nice things about that interview. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So, just my opinion. Since I've already been on over 2 hours, tomorrow night we'll go through the documents. I have 2 sets of documents. One is from a couple of months prior to 3 months before the arrest. He had an altercation with Mila. We spoke about this yesterday. Plus, I have Kelly's report record. I was going to get to it tonight, but then we got sidetracked because I wanted you guys to see this interview. So we'll do that tomorrow night. One thing I do want to say, I do want to look at is TikTok again. TikTok has some really interesting stuff. So bear with me. Oh, and the trial. I wanted to see Kelly's interview. But the only place I could find it was Court TV, which they do strike. But dad really, like, he was right. Wade doesn't want to be in Wade wants to be on death row. Um, hold on. There's so many videos. Do I have a birthday box? What's a birthday box? Oh, I do actually. You just tell me what you want to spend, and then I make it happen. By the way, how are the air fresheners, Criminal Med? Like the last birthday box I did, she had put in for a $200 box. So I gave her like, I think it was like 8 candles, 8, 9-ounce candle, or 6 9-ounce candles, some, a whole bunch of stuff. So you basically tell me what you want to spend and what kind of stuff you want included. And then I print out a card with it, a specialized birthday card. Kelly. Um, that's TikTok. Hang on. Oh. No, not the interviewing. For some reason, I can't find Kelly's TikTok that she made. All right. Well. All right. For some reason, it won't allow it to make it bigger.
Were found dead back in 2019 after being strangled by Wilson. This is all according to the prosecution. Scripps News' Kate Coral spoke with a woman who claims that she was attacked by Wilson shortly before these murders took place. Take a listen. Convicted Cape Coral murderer Wade Wilson will soon find out if he will go to prison for life or be put to death.
For me personally, covering a case, I like to put a voice with a picture. So when we're listening to all the calls, I want you guys to see who these people are. That's why I keep scouting the people that we're hearing from, just so you guys can actually put a face to a name, or a face to a voice, or a face to a call. So this is Kelly, the ex-girlfriend.
death. I'm Fox 4 senior reporter Caitlin Knapp, and I dug into his background after the state attorney made an interesting comment to me about Wilson. The comment led me to track down Wilson's ex-girlfriend, who believes the murders could have been avoided if Palm Beach County deputies arrested Wilson for her reported crime.
We've heard from many women who have been victimized by the defendant, but maybe didn't go forward on charges or for whatever reason didn't find justice in the justice system.
That's what sparked the story after weeks of covering Wilson's trial and death penalty recommendation. Kelly Matthews dated Wilson and was interviewed by our West Palm Beach station shortly after he was named a person of interest in October 2019.
He kidnapped me and almost killed me.
And most recently, Matthews has been vocal on TikTok.
I dated this man.
I don't want to be quiet about this.
Quiet about what she claims Wilson did to her in Palm Beach County. Matthews met Wilson in 2018 online, calling him charismatic.
Okay. Here is the link to this video. If anybody can zoom in on her TikTok and find out what her TikTok is, I can't find that video. And this won't let me make it big enough to see it. But if anyone can hone in on that, zone in on what her TikTok is, I will put it on. I am dying to see it, but I have never been able to find it.
And polite. She said things changed when he started reportedly using drugs.
It was just like a very toxic relationship, but he was never violent ever.
Until February 18th, 2019, she claims. Matthews says Wilson agreed to go to a rehab in the Keys, but Matthews said that wasn't true, and they got into an argument.
And so I got back in the car and put my seatbelt on, and that's when he started choking me.
She says Wilson then cut off her clothes and eventually put her in the back of her car. Matthews says he sexually assaulted her, tied and gagged her.
At some point, he had bit my face.
She says he drove them to the Keys and Wilson got out and left. Matthews says she drove home.
I should have stopped at like a gas station or something, but I think I thought no one would believe me.
She and her mom called police. Matthews.
Yes, he got the death penalty. The jury suggested the death penalty, but the judge still will make the final decision on August 27th.
Says she went to the hospital where they did a sexual assault kit and took photos of her injuries. In a police report I obtained from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, it says they interviewed Wilson, who did not admit to any assault. The report says Matthews did have bruising on her neck and a cut to her lip, but they did not arrest Wilson.
He was like, no, this is hearsay. Like, you don't have any probable cause.
He, as in the detective who also put in the report, there are no witnesses to the alleged crime and no evidence to establish probable cause. Do you feel like the system has failed you?
Absolutely.
I reached out to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office asking why they did not arrest Wilson despite visible injuries.
I don't understand how someone can do something so severe to somebody else and not even get detained for it.
About 8 months later, Wilson was in Cape Coral and killed Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz. Matthews sees his conviction and death penalty recommendation as some sort of justice.
I feel like this is good for everyone that he's hurt.
Matthews says she wants to talk about what happened for her own sake and for other domestic violence cases.
I want.
All right, I'm going to try that one more time.
And killed Christine Melton and Diane Ruiz. Matthews.
It's Kelly Matthews is her name. Something media. Hold on, where's my glasses? Maybe glasses will help. Insect Farm Media? Or it looks like Insect AR Media is what it looks like. Or Insect Armada? I can't tell. I can't tell. But that's what it looks like. Insectae armata. Armada? Insect armada? Maybe.
Her own sake and for other domestic violence cases.
I want people to know that they can leave, like get help.
As for Wilson, he's in jail, waiting to see if judge will agree to the jury's recommendation and sentence him to death.
We're a strong group of people that he didn't beat. And unfortunately, it took 2 women dying for him to get noticed. You didn't win, and you're going to get what you deserve.
As of Monday evening, the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says that they are currently...
Meanwhile, she was talking to him. So I have a hard time believing that she feels the way she does. We heard the calls. It is Insect Armada. All right. I was right. All right. Kim, can you put that link in Discord? And Annie, thank you. Yeah, Kim, if you could drop that link in Discord, because I can't copy it here. What kind of name is Insect Armada? What a stupid fucking name. You're the best. She looks totally different.
Super tired, but I finally got some of my stuff back from the hospital, and the internal affairs thing that we opened up against the detective that wouldn't do anything in Wade's case against me. And I had initially thought I was like going crazy, because there's no way that you have this much evidence and you just don't do anything about it. But looking back and reading this, there was 100% no doubt that he did what he did, and this cop just didn't care. And he actually got reprimanded for it. And they actually did a report on Fox 4, I think, on the west coast of Florida. So I'm going to show you guys some pictures of the report. You can pause it and read it or whatever, just to prove all this stuff, all these people that don't think that this happened to me. So they also took actual photos, like with a good camera at the hospital. Those photos are gone. I can't find them anywhere. The hospital gave them to the police department, and I can't find them. They can't find them. So I'm pretty sure that the detective in this case probably got rid of them. Who knows? They're just they're gone. So I'm still working on trying to find out where those went. But 1 second, let me show you. So this is proof that I had DNA evidence under my fingernails and from a sexual assault. The detective told me at the time when he got these back that they were inconclusive and that there was no proof of his DNA on me. Obviously, there was. This is just showing the findings from his internal affairs that he was neglectful. You'll have to pause and read it, but he was neglectful. He like closed the case without like waiting for the DNA to come back, all this other stuff. This is all the photos that were taken that we cannot find. These are detailed mappings of my injuries. So this is a bite mark on my face. This one is a bite mark. This is redness and scratches around my neck, a busted lip. This is the bite mark on my face. Bruising and stuff like that. It literally says ligature marks on my wrists and my ankles and like a busted lip and bruised knees and all this other stuff. Literally, it says ligature marks and teeth marks, like bite marks on my face. How are you going to tell me that there was not enough evidence to at least detain this man? So that just blows my mind because, you know, it's been like 4 years. I haven't seen the pictures. And if you've ever been through a severe trauma, you know that like sometimes your memory can be messed up. And I was like, you know, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like I knew I had a busted lip, but maybe everything else was kind of like in my head. But then looking back, straight up says ligature mark.
See, but my issue with this is why did she talk to him afterwards? We hear the phone calls, which was 6 months after all this happened. She's talking to him like, no, you can call me. I might want to be with you. I that's where she becomes sketchy to me. What she went through was horrific. Why do you want to talk to him? Why do you want to be his friend? Like I when I hear her speak and then think of the phone calls, it's like, really? Really? Yeah, but I don't know, sweet one. I thought that too, but I don't know. I think there might be more to it. I think she was still in love with him. She gave him money. Her other boyfriend is in jail for 20 years. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Marks. Like, I was effing tied up. And he bit me on the face and on the ear. I had a bloody nose. I had a super busted lip. They had like big cuts on the inside of my mouth. I had handprints and bruises on my neck. And you're going to tell me that this man might have not have done it? In the report, it also says that I might have done it to myself. Yes, I punched myself in the face that hard that I busted my lip wide open. And I bit my own cheek. I don't know if you guys know that you can do that. Bite the outside of your cheek. So yeah, I'm trying to raise money to pursue a lawyer. I need a lawyer. So I don't know if there's any lawyers on here that want to help me, or if you want to donate to any of the stuff. It's in my bio. I put like Cash App and stuff. But I'm trying to get a lawyer to go after the police department and the cop that is still a cop. They demoted him to road patrol, but he is still a police officer. And this man should not be a police officer. He did not help me. He's probably not helped countless other women and men, who knows. And he just blows it off. Like, they asked, well, why didn't you file it as like a domestic relationship thing? And he's like, oh, well, Wade said they were only together for 4 months. But in another investigation, like earlier, he wrote in his report that we were together for 7 months. And I'm like, make up your mind. You said we were only together for 4 months, and that's why you couldn't consider it like a relationship battery. But in that other report, you wrote we were together for 7 months. So make up your mind. It just doesn't make any sense. And then at the end of the report, the investigator that was investigating this detective was like, so you found her stalking charge more important than her sexual assault charge? And he was like, no, I didn't. On the same day that he closed my case, after like less than a month, he opened a case against me to Wade for stalking with no evidence whatsoever. So they were like, no, we're going to close that. You can't do that. Like, what in tarnation? So, yeah, this has been a really fun roller coaster. Reading these reports has been insane. I'm going to do another live soon, just not tonight or anything because I'm so effing tired. This is draining. For those that tag Bunny and everything, her and I have spoken. We're trying to figure out.
Here's the thing, Scooby Doo, though. She does have a case. If they would have pursued her case, he wouldn't have been able to murder 2 women. He'd be sitting in jail. She really does have a case. All right, let me rephrase that. I don't know if she has a case, but the families of the victims absolutely have a case because the whole trajectory would have changed if they would have taken her seriously. So, yeah. I don't know if she would have a case though, but definitely the victims' families have a case. They absolutely have a case. I just don't know if she does.
Figure out what we want to do, if we want to do a podcast or something else. So I'm also trying to get a hold of the family of the 2 women that were killed because I think they should be in on this lawsuit against.
There you go. That's what I just said. See how smart I am? But yeah, I agree with that. She needs those families because they're the ones that can sue. I don't know if she can because nothing happened. Let me give you the reason I say that. Nothing happened to her because he didn't go to jail. She didn't have any losses because they arrested him or didn't arrest him. And now there's evidence that she spoke to him after that. I don't think she has a case. But the 2 murder victims' families, they absolutely have a case because he should have been in jail. Exactly, Pearl.
The police department, because if they would have done their job, this might have not have happened. These women might still be here. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you have any tips on a lawyer. And yeah. So excuse my face.
Yeah, not all the evidence was destroyed. Only the pictures were destroyed or disappeared or something. But if I knew, like if I literally knew that someone should have been in jail, and if they weren't in jail because I fucked up as a cop, that's some heavy, heavy burden to live with. Oh, the pictures were found? Where'd you guys find the pictures?
So we're gonna do some quick things since everyone is going off about how I'm lying and everything about this Wade thing. So I'm just gonna answer a couple quick questions that people have asked and said. For one, I am not racist. If anyone has seen the messages going around, I don't remember ever writing that. And to my knowledge, those could very well be fabricated. I don't talk like that. I don't say the N-word. I don't talk ghetto like that. I am not racist, nor would I ever like openly admit to it on the internet where I know it's never going to go away. I don't know where that came from. Second, Courtney, Wade's other ex, is claiming that the gas station was lit up and bright when I got down there and she could see everything. It was like 2 in the morning or something like that. That gas station closes at 9:30. It was pitch black. There was no lights on. It's in the Keys. Like, stuff doesn't stay open all night unless you're like down in Key West, which we were not. Also, she like twisted it on me saying, well, you said that you went to use the bathroom at Sundowners. How'd you do that if it was closed? I didn't use the bathroom at Sundowners.
Isn't Courtney the one that made the video from last night? His very good friend. Wasn't her name Courtney? I think it was. But I'm not 100%.
I opened the door and peed outside of the car because, again, it was 2 in the morning. Wade wasn't going to let me out of his sight because he thought I would run, and I had begged him to use the bathroom. Another thing she wants to talk about, and all the other like Wade wives or whatever the fuck they're calling themselves want to talk about, that everyone in the like courthouse against him have all been to jail. And yes, I have been to jail for 20 hours of my whole life. I think it's public record. You should be able to look it up. It was dropped. The charges were dropped because they did not have any proof that I did what they thought I did. Wade ended up stealing something from somebody that I know and told me that he was going to kill my dogs if I didn't call the detective with him on the phone and tell them it was me. So I did, because my dogs are my life. The detective asked me all these questions about like, well, how did you do it? How did this place look? Blah, blah, blah. And everything I answered was like wrong and inconsistent. And he even said that in the report. Like, I didn't know how many of the things were that were stolen. I didn't know the setup of the yard. I didn't like, he knew it wasn't me. So I'm also going to show you some other quick things. So this is Courtney's sister, Brittany, called the police about Wade being at her house without her permission. Courtney was sneaking him into her house without her permission. So you'll have to pause that. Let's just talk about that she has been to jail multiple times, including this time where she stabbed somebody. This is showing that I was sending money to Wade when he was in Texas because he said that he needed money to get home. So he was sending me an email back, and I said I would send you money to get on the bus to come home. I was actually trying to set him up because he had a warrant out for his arrest in Florida for when he stole my laptop. This is emails that I sent him the day after my assault, where I tell him about what happened because she claims that I was just blowing up his phone and that I did not have any injuries. So this next one is going to be kind of hard for me to post. I've never shared this actual report with anybody except my close friends, but I think it's time because the whole internet is already up on my case. So this is the actual detailed report that I wrote and sent to my friends the day after all of this happened, so I would never forget.
All right. Do you guys want me to read it? Yes. Wade was in prison prior. Can you guys read that, or you want me to read it? Hey, Sarah. Sweet one, how did I know you were going to say that? All right. All right. Around 1 p.m., I had convinced Wade to go to Faith Farm to get help for his drug addiction. We drove to my mother's to get $20 for gas to get there. We then headed to Faith Farm. Once we got close, he chickened out and panicked. We parked somewhere so he could relax before heading there. After about 30 minutes, he decided he wasn't going to go. We then headed to the park to relax and try to find some rehab or detox we could take him to.
The day after all of this happened, so I would never forget.
All right. Take him to instead. I told him by this time we had to either go home or he had to go somewhere else. I couldn't stay out all day waiting for his decision. He then decided we should go to the house so he could get some stuff and find somewhere to go. He told me he had somewhere to go and that was around 2 hours away and that I needed to bring him. I told him I didn't have gas money. He informed me that I needed to find some so he could leave. I then asked everyone I could think of for $50 to get 2 hours away to be able to get him home. He told me to pawn my laptop. We left the house and I brought my laptop along so we could try to pawn it. We got to the pawn shop and they didn't want it, so we left. He then told me he was going to sell my laptop. I yelled and fought him about it because my laptop has a ton of stuff on it that I need. The person he tried to sell it to didn't want it, so we left. We were then driving and started fighting. When we got to a red light, I got out and started walking out of anger. He drove around the block and attempted to hit me on the way back, forcing me to get back in the car. We drove for a little longer and he parked somewhere while he tried to get more money. By this time, it was around 7:30 and he said he would have money around 9. I got mad and got out again and stormed off. He said my mom was calling and told me I needed to come get it. I walked back to the car and asked for my phone. He told me to get in. I got in and shut the door. He then jumped on me and started choking me with both hands. I was close to blacking out and hitting his arms trying to get free. He let go long enough for me to breathe and answer a question he asked, and then he started something again for a shorter this time. He then told me to get on the floorboard of my car. I tried to get on the floor, but I'm tall, so it didn't fit well. Every time I opened my mouth, to say I couldn't fit, he punched me in the head. I squished myself as small as I could. He took a knife and cut up the back of my shirt and bra, ripping them and pulling them over my head. He then told me to stay still and don't move and he wouldn't kill me. He was holding the knife on the back of my head and back tracing the knife along my back. Every time I would move, he would grab my neck and push me down. I was sweating. I was sweating and hot and felt like vomiting. I told him I was hot, and he said that we didn't have enough gas to turn the air on. We drove around for about an hour while I was on the floor. I could hear and feel that we were going over train tracks and speed bumps, but I couldn't tell where we were. We were driving somewhere dark, and he hit something with my car that he claimed was a fence. It was dark, and I could hear a train somewhere nearby. He told me he was going to tie me up and that he could either tie me to a tree or knock me out, or he could tie me up in the car. I opted for the car. He then told me to climb into the back, keep my eyes and head down, and face my head towards the driver's side. I did. He got out, came to the passenger side, and removed my shirt and bra the rest of the way and pulled my shorts and underwear off completely. While I was fully naked, he pushed my head down and proceeded to rape me anally. After he finished, he made me lay on my stomach and put my hands behind my back. He used what felt like a belt around my wrist. I kept complaining that it was too boop. All right. He used what felt like a belt around my wrist. I kept complaining it was too tight, so he made it tighter and made sure that my hands were going numb. He also used a plastic bag and some type of fabric, later found out to be leggings, to tie them again. He then did the same thing to my legs. After that, he tried to push me on the floor of the car. I was too big to fit with my arms behind my back, so he kept forcing me down. He then tried to gag me with a sock. I couldn't keep it in my mouth without almost throwing up. So after hitting me in the face several times, I felt my lip bleed and my nose bleed. He gave up and just tied a shirt tight around my mouth. He used another around my eyes. He then went to the passenger side of the car to shut the door. I couldn't bend my knees and couldn't fit my feet. He slammed the door and my foot was in it. I screamed as loud as I could with a gag in my mouth. He then opened the door, allowing me to readjust. He got back in the car and we started driving again. He threw dirty clothes over me, decided to sell my phone to someone he called. We were meeting them at Bedogan Market on Lake Worth Road. He sold my phone for $50 and some weed, which I think was actually cocaine. At this point, my hands were going numb and I was in a lot of pain. I moaned in pain to him until he guessed why I was upset. He told me once he got food and gas, he would release my hands. After I cried for another half hour or so, he released one hand. My left arm and hand were still stuck behind my back. I told him best I could that it was still numb and in pain. After another 20 minutes or so, he helped me move my arms to a normal position. He then had me lay the other way with my head on the passenger side. The feeling was coming back to my hands now, but my feet were in excruciating pain. I tried to tell him, but he didn't care. He ignored it for about an hour. After I cried several more times, he started undoing my feet. He got them halfway before we started moving again. They were still completely numb and in pain when he decided to stop the car, climb into the back to undo them. He seemed panicked that I was in so much pain. He undid them and apologized that it was so tight. I then got to lay on the floor unbound except my mouth and my eyes. We drove for about a half an hour and I had fallen asleep. When I woke up, we were stopped. He asked me to uncover my face. Upon noticing how bruised and swollen my lip was, he freaked out. He apologized profusely and said that he couldn't believe he did that to me. He then told me to put some clothes on and that I could lay on the back seat facing the back, so I couldn't see street signs and know where we were. I got dressed and I fell asleep. He kept trying to hold my head and be nice. I allowed it so it wouldn't make him mad. After we were in Homestead, I told him I had to pee and he allowed me to get out and use the bathroom next to the car. I told him if we were dropping him off with his friends, I would likely need to be in the front seat if they were expecting us to be together. He allowed me to be in the front, but had me sit on the floorboard until we got closer to where we were going. After he called them and found a place to meet, he let me sit on the seat. Once we met up with the friend, he got out, took his bag, and gave me my keys. I then got in and hauled ass back home to my mother's house. Tell you little whore how you bound and gagged me, how you cried after you saw how bad you busted my lip, how you raped me in the back of my car, how you tied my legs up with garbage bags. Go ahead, Wade.
So anyway, you can pause to read all of that. I do not make money on this website. People are like, oh, you're making money off of this, blah, blah, blah. I've made $4 off of the live videos, off of all the views, all that stuff. People that make money on TikTok.
Let me just state loud and clear. If somebody did that to me and I could make money off them, you bet your ass I would. Just saying. Hey, Miss Vu.
Have 300 million views. I don't have that. I'm in a happy and healthy relationship now. none of your business with whom, but I am not desperate. I am not wanting him back. All those messages about me wanting him back was back then. I was damaged, and my brain was not understanding what had happened to me. It's called battered women syndrome, trauma bonding. You can look it all up. It's all real. It happens to a lot of people that have severe trauma. They cling to their abuser, and that's what happened to me. And I 100% admit it. I have nothing to hide. I am doing this because I want to be able to help other people that are in situations like that, so that they can get out. Or if they're afraid to leave, they can reach out to me. They can have someone to talk to, because there's so many people out here that are like, oh, you're just playing the victim. I would just forget it, like brush it off. I got abused and I didn't tell anybody. Okay, that's fine. That's you. That's how you heal. I heal by telling people what happened to me, so that other women or men are not afraid to speak out about their abuse, because it's become such a stigma that if you're abused, you hide it. Even some of my own family, when it happened, they were like, hey, don't talk about this on the internet. Like, screw you. I'm going to tell everybody what happened to me, because I hope that I can save a life. And I did. I have a couple friends that were in very abusive relationships reach out to me, and I helped them get away. They got phones, they left in the middle of the night, and I helped them leave. Like, if I can be even a stepping stone in the strength you need to get out of that relationship, or if I can be a message or a phone call that you make in the middle of the night because you're scared, I want to be that for somebody, because I didn't have that. I would have if I had listened to my friends, but I was so blinded by this manipulative man that is still out there manipulating women all over the world, apparently. If I would have just listened to my friends and my family, I wouldn't have been in this situation. And, you know, Courtney is very lucky that she didn't end up like all of the rest of us. Sarah, Mila, myself, Rosemary, the guy that he dated named Chris. There are so many women that he did this to, and a man, maybe more. You know, Courtney's lucky. She didn't get hurt. She did not get abused, and, you know, good for her. That's great. I'm jealous in that aspect, because this really damaged a lot of my psyche, and I've been in therapy for a very long time. But anyway, this is not about making a name for myself. I want to be famous, blah, blah, blah. I don't. I want to help people. That's why I want to write a book, so that I can help people. There are some books that I read that helped me along the way. Some of them are called Why Does He Do That? It's a great book. If you're in that type of situation, they make a workbook as well. Like I said, my DMs are open. You can always message me if you have questions.
By the way, I know Amber will agree with me on this because it kind of brought us together. One of the greatest books that I have ever read about abuse, narcissistic abuse, and narcissism, and why they do what they do, and the manipulative nature. Seek out Sam Vatkin. Amber, what's the name? All of a sudden, I forgot. It's some with a V. Sam V. I don't know why I can't think of his name all of a sudden. Excellent. Sam Vaknin. Excellent book. I would have never gotten through my custody fight without this book. I mean, it's so good. And I would read it. I'd be like, oh my God, that's Brad. That's Brad to a T. That's totally Brad. I was reading what I was going through. Like, literally. I couldn't believe every page that I turned was my ex. It was everything I was listening to, everything I was going through. Yeah, he has a free website with tons of information. He's got videos, but the book was powerful. And I don't think that I would have, I mean, I don't know, hindsight's 2020, but I don't think I would have ever gotten through my custody fight in the way I did without this book. So if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist, if you don't know if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist, but you think you are, or you're dealing with an abuser, you definitely want to read his books. I don't remember the name of I mean, I'll look at his books and I'll know it when I see it. But this one book was just so phenomenal. Malignant Self-Love. Thank you, Amber. I knew she would know. Every page is like, oh my God, absolutely unbelievable. I agree with that, Criminal Med.
No problems. I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide. All of the stuff that I talk about is public record. You can literally look it up. My police reports are public record. The thing I opened up against the officer where he got demoted to road patrol and put on leave, public record. I am still trying to find a lawyer that's willing to actually take my case, because I have reached out to several, but a lot of them don't want to go after the police department because it's apparently pretty hard to actually win. But I have a lot of evidence. Obviously, he was already demoted for a reason. But anyway, I'm hoping that clears some stuff up. Yeah. And we will find out what happens to Wade in a couple weeks. And I'm praying that justice is finally served. It didn't have to take 2 women losing their lives for this man to finally get put away, but that's apparently how our justice system works. So,
and there you have it. And thank you to Annie and to Kim for finding her, because I couldn't find her. I agree, Scooby. I mean, it really was the best book I ever read. And I'm not a reader. Let me tell you, I fucking hate reading. That's why my vocabulary sucks, because I wasn't a big reader. People with really good vocabularies are big readers. Like my daughter, avid reader. Her vocabulary is 10 times better than mine because I'm not a reader. So, on that note, I have been on 2.5 hours. I am going to cut this now. I got to be up early tomorrow anyway. We're going out. Dayton has school, but me, Mom, Howard, and the twins are going to spend the day together. So I won't be around tomorrow during the day. Hopefully, there's another video tomorrow night. But either way, I will see you guys tomorrow. Mom's old, so it'll probably be around the same time. I want to say 9:30. We should be home, no doubt. So hopefully I can make it by 8:30, but no promises. But if there's not another video drop tomorrow, don't worry. We have those records to go over. I have Kelly's record, and I also have Mila's record 3 months prior to the murders. So we got stuff tomorrow. But I have a feeling we're going to have more video. Hopefully she drops more than just one. So, all right. I will see you guys later. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Amber, thank you so much for the memberships. Guys, don't forget, energycandles.com, Criminal Med. Email me if you want a specific box or give me a number, how much you want to spend, and I will create a box and you let me know if that's what you want. So on that note, have a wonderful night. Again, ENERGIE, candles.com. I'll probably be on camera tomorrow night, just so you guys know, because, I'll be all done up. So that's it. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful night. Be good to each other. Be nice to each other. And peace.